Here in this video, we're going to be going over, briefly, all of the data and information you need to know in regards to AMC stock. Then we will go over what's going to be happening this week, what could happen this week, the data, the specific earnings that will be coming out, some of the stocks that I like for trades on earnings. I know a lot of you guys just YOLO on earnings. That's not the way that I operate. I operate with a specific strategy. I will briefly share that, but don't employ that for yourselves. You will lose all of your money. Just perhaps maybe a smarter alternative to some of the strategies you guys might be already using in some of your earnings trades. But we'll look at some of your implied moves for some of your biggest earnings this week. Now, there's going to be a lot of data. There's going to be a lot of or not a lot, but quite a few important earnings for our markets. Maybe not the kind of stocks you guys are thinking, because they are some of your AI stocks, your semiconductor stocks that will still, yes, be reporting earnings this week. And again, at the end of this video, we will be going over a price prediction for AMC stock, what my expectations are this week, and I am expecting quite a large move, believe it or not, because I think something is going to happen, and I'll explain what that something is here in this video. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. And we'll start with some of your AMC data, if you will. And again, I just want to recap. We had earnings. Things were fine with earnings. They weren't great. They were fine, better than expected, but not like knock your socks off crazy, earnings, right? We didn't get any new information. We didn't get anything that was really like super bullish or super bearish. I mean, Adam Aron, if anything, stressed the need to raise more capital, and that's probably why AMC stock fell after earnings. And I think Adam Aron had kind of hyped up AMC earnings in a way where we thought we were going to get some kind of new information. Unfortunately, that did not happen, so that was negative for AMC stock, right? That's really the bottom line to it. I think investors like myself, I think there was many of us out there that wanted a commitment for like 6 months of no dilution. That did not happen. That's what we needed. It did not happen, so AMC stock fell. That was my expectation around AMC earnings. If we got that commitment, things would be fine. If we didn't, AMC stock would fall. Okay, so that's what happened. And that's the backstory here. But AMC stock's in a very interesting position now because we do have data coming out this week. We do have quite a few very important events that will be taking place this week. And these events could definitely move our markets. Now, first things first, let's take a look at some of your Ortex data. Now, for this week, it's a little bit more neutral than what we've seen lately. Lately, we've been so bullish, and it really hasn't done anything for AMC stock, at least in the options market, which, if I flip that around, if we're now pretty neutral for this upcoming week, maybe that could be bullish. Maybe you could say that, and it's kind of a valid argument at this point, because, I mean, if think about it like this, everyone can be right. So if everyone is right, that's a problem for the market makers, specifically. So everyone's been bullish, AMC stock has fell. Now everyone's kind of neutral. Maybe that means AMC stock can do well. We'll see. That's just a little bit of kind of my first glance interpretation of this upcoming week. So expiring by this Friday, you have call open interest of 56.62% and put open interest of 43.38%. So still more calls than puts, but a lot more normal, if you will. What we had for last week was 70% calls, 30% puts. The week before that was like 80% calls, 20% puts. So you're definitely starting to get a little bit towards, or more towards neutral. Now, on Friday of last week, you had 8 orders from hedge funds and institutions totaling $455,500 with a positive order value of 16%. So that was definitely on the bearish side. Now, good news is for the bulls in AMC that do want to see a short squeeze, the prospects of a short squeeze continue to get better in terms of the actual data itself. You do have 12.59% short interest of free float, $139.09 million currently in short positions in AMC, days to cover 1.87, 31.5 million shares that are currently sold short, shares out on loan 38.11 million. Cost to borrow about 1.06%, utilization of 56.83%, and you do have a short score of 65.71 out of 100. So Decent numbers here. Obviously nothing that's too crazy, right? We're not 30, 40, 50% sold short here on Ortex, at least. I believe you're still hundreds of percent sold short. I think there's never been a reason why shorts would look to cover on short positions. I mean, Adam Aron has done everything to keep shorts in their short positions. He hasn't done anything to get shorts to cover. We have not gotten any commitment for no dilution. We haven't gotten anything that would cause shorts to actually cover on short positions. So I think, that's kind of just where we are right now. Thank you, Adam Aron. This AMC stock, where it is all Adam Aron's fault. And don't be confused there. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's not the next guy's fault. It's not even AMC's debt's fault. It's Adam Aron's fault. Okay. He could have said, we're not going to dilute shareholders for the next 6 months. At some point down the line, we will need to dilute shareholders as we get closer to 2026, but we're not going to do that for a while. Come on, dude. When's the light bulb going to come on? He has no light bulb in there. I'm convinced at this point. He should have done that when AMC was $11 per share. AMC stock would be a $20 or $30 stock right now if he had done that. He needs to be fired, okay? Any logical, straight-thinking CEO would have done that. I would have done that. Make me the CEO of AMC. Come on. It's just kind of crazy. Just logically, like, what the fuck? What the F are you doing? Okay? I don't want to get demonetized here, but geez, it's so frustrating. Like, stupidest thing in the world. Just flat out ignorant to Wall Street, I guess. Who knows? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Why Adam Aron does not have AMC stock at $20 or $30 right now. Now, sentiment on StockTwits is neutral at 50. Yesterday it was 50 as well, which is, neutral. It's not good. It's really not bad. Message volume is 40 today. That's actually pretty good. Yesterday it was 45. So yesterday was normal at 45. Today is low at 40, but that's not a huge drop. And considering, it was Saturday, now it's Sunday, a lot of people are not talking about the markets or any of that on the weekends. That's actually a pretty good number. Now, you do have a participation ratio of 55, and that is on the high side. So that's definitely good. More people are continuing to talk about AMC stock. So I'm definitely not going to argue with that one at all. As far as the Stocko Tracker data, you do have 35. No, you don't. You have 1,600 calls that are currently in the money, 35,000 calls out the money, 9,000 puts in the money, and about 19,000 puts that are out of the money. Now, let's get into what's going to be happening this week. And let's just give you a brief run through of the economic activity that's going to be taking place today. And there's nothing on Monday. Basically nothing on Monday. Some European data that will be coming out. Let's see. Yeah, lots of European data that will be coming out. Fed Harker speaks at 11 o'clock in the morning, but let's be honest, you're probably not going to get much of anything out of that either. Maybe if, Jerome Powell is going to say something the markets really like or really don't like, Harker could give you a little bit of a heads up, kind of change the narrative a little bit. We'll have to wait and see because Powell does speak this week. On Tuesday, you have ISM Services PMI that will be coming out at 10 o'clock in the morning, expecting that to fall from 53.4 last month to 52.5. Now, you're also going to get factory orders month over month. Last month coming in at 0.2% positive. This month, you're expecting negative 3%. So that's quite a big decline. Fed Bar will speak at noon and then 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday as well. Now, on Wednesday, you're going to get Fed Jerome Powell, young Jerome Powell. If we're going to get any new information from Powell, it will likely be on Wednesday. He speaks on Thursday as well, but if we're going to get new information, he's probably going to say that the first day. And so I think Wednesday's the bigger day to be watching for that. You will get JOLTS job openings that will be coming out. The higher, the better the economy. The maybe more sticky inflation will be. I guess that's the narrative. I don't really think job openings has anything to do with inflation. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, I've never seen that just don't make a whole lot of sense to me. The lower the job openings, the worse off the economy is doing, and you are expecting to lose about 100,000 job openings from last month. But again, considering January, February tend to be just overall months companies start to lay off, get rid of some of their seasonal workers for the holiday season, it wouldn't surprise me if that number falls even more. And then at noon, you will get Fed Daily that will be speaking, and that's pretty much it. Now on Thursday, again, you will have Fed Jerome Powell. And he's really the biggest catalyst of Thursday. But again, I'm not expecting new information if we don't get it on Wednesday. Used car prices month over month will be coming out as well on Thursday. It doesn't have a time over here, but I believe it will be coming out at night at some point. Month over month expected to be, actually don't have an expectation. Last month was 0% for month over month, and year over year was negative 9.2%. So anything more negative or worse there is going to be good news. Now on Friday, you're going to have Fed Williams at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then the non-farm payroll report. So the non-farms come out Friday at 8:30 in the morning. Again, Fed Jerome Powell probably knows coming Wednesday what this non-farm payroll report is going to look like. So if it's really good or really bad, he could say, something that is different coming on Wednesday, and that could give the markets a little bit of a heads up. The Fed likes to do that. Like, let's say we were going to see a negative non-farm payroll report number. The Fed would likely talk a lot more bullish than otherwise expected. He might be a little bit more bearish if he knows the number is going to come in really hot again. Now, non-farm payrolls are expected to be 190,000. Last month was revised big to 353,000. We'll see what the revision does again. If it's higher or lower, I can't imagine it goes higher. That would be just crazy. And again, non-farm payrolls under like 80,000, 100,000 might be seen as bad news, but non-farm payrolls like 140,000, 150,000, little bit lower than expected, probably going to be good news for the markets. The unemployment rate is expected to be 3.7%, same as last month. Again, if that goes up to like 3.9 or 4%, anything over 4% could be bad, especially to see a big jump like that. Anything where we are now, roughly up plus or minus, 3.8, 3.6%, probably going to be just okay news. Probably not going to be a big deal. You will also get a lot of secondary data, average hourly earnings month over month and year over year, and the participation rate, as well as government payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, non-farm payrolls, private, all kinds of different things. And I will mention on Wednesday, we will also get the ADP employment change. That tends to be kind of the closest thing to the non-farm payroll report. You're expecting that's actually going to hit 145,000 job ads. Last month was 107, so that would suggest a pretty strong Friday jobs report if that does indeed happen. Now, as far as what we're expecting for earnings this week, let's see, you'll be getting a couple names. GitLab Monday and after hours, that could be an important one according to young Jim Cramer. Tuesday pre-market, Neo and Target. Tuesday after hours, CrowdStrike, ChargePoint, Ross, Nordstrom, Box, a couple other smaller names. Wednesday pre-market, JD.com, Abercrombie & Fitch, Foot Locker, EVgo. Wednesday and after hours, Victoria's Secret, Honest. Thursday pre-market, Kroger, Big Lots, Burlington, American Eagle Outfitters, Billy Buy, PaySafe. And then Thursday and after hours, Costco, Broadcom, Marvel, MongoDB, DocuSign, Samsara, Petrobras, and Gap. And then Friday, you're really not going to have all too much of anything. Now, out of these earnings, the big ones are really the AI ones, right? Those are the ones that you really want to be watching, like your Marvel and your Broadcom Thursday and after hours. Those are the ones that are more tied to, AI, semiconductors, and could move the markets big. Now, this is a chart of the implied moves on earnings. So anything that's like above 10%, I want to stay away from that, because your risk to reward just is not great in the options market specifically, because they're just pricing in a huge move. That would be GitLab, Neo, CrowdStrike, Abercrombie & Fitch, JD.com, Burlington, Marvel, and Gap. DocuSign as well. I want to stay far away from those names. There's 3 stocks that I specifically like for this week as far as earnings trades. That is Target, that is Costco, and that is Broadcom. Obviously, Broadcom and Costco, I like those for the downside because they're up so much, and likely a lot of good news is already priced into those stocks. And if you do see Broadcom sell off on Thursday, who knows, what they're going to say or do. I'm sure things are going to be great, but they're priced for great. So it's going to have to be like really, really good for the stock to go up. Does it fall, 7% as is priced in right now? Maybe not. Who knows? But definitely, if you get any kind of downside surprise there, you could fall 15, 20%, and those options would pay out really big. Same with Costco there, not expecting them to move a lot, around 4%. If they do indeed move a lot, you can make a lot of money there. And same with Target, only a 7% move implied. Target can move 20, 25% on good or bad earnings. And I like Target for both directions, but I do like Target for the upside. And again, Costco and Broadcom for the downside. Now, my specific strategy is, let's say Powell is just decisively bearish on Wednesday. Well, that's probably going to cause Broadcom and Costco to also fall. I like to go in with contracts that are $20, $30, $40 a piece. I go in and I buy 10 of them. Right. And then once I'm up 20, 25, 30%, again, keeping in mind the direction of the markets. You don't want to do this on some kind of random day. You want to do it on a clearly bullish or bearish day for the markets. Go in 10 or so contracts, couple $100, look to get 20, 25, 50%, sometimes 80, 100%. Just depends, what the options look like, how the stocks are moving. And then sell out, get my initial investment back, and keep them for free. I did this with AMC earnings. I was up 150%. I should have made it free. I did not. I had more confidence in Adam Aron. Definitely won't do that again. Learned a hard lesson there. Only spent $200. The trade turned into like $450. Lost the $450. Go figure. Should have made it free. That's why I always do. I thought for sure we were going to get a commitment not to dilute shareholders with what Adam Aron said. But I mean, Adam Aron just needs to be fired. That's a whole topic for another video. But that's a strategy I like to use. I like to get free contracts and ride those into earnings. And, always get that initial investment back, or as much of it back as possible, with keeping exposure for some of these earnings. And a small amount can go a long way. What was it? Palo Alto, $60 put turned into $2,500. At one point, it was like $4,000. That was obviously on the earnings drop and not from Nancy Pelosi. I guess that was a good trade to the upside as well. She went out there and bought some calls in Palo Alto. But nonetheless, those are the three stocks that I like for this week. That's a little bit of my strategy. Again, you don't want to do that on some kind of random day. On a clearly bullish or bearish day, whether you're targeting like Target for me, if markets are good on Monday, Target reports before the market, before the open on Tuesday. So if Monday's a good day, Target's doing well, then that could be a good trade for the upside on Target. If we get some weakness, maybe on Wednesday, that could be a good time to get some positioning on Costco or Broadcom for the downside. That's just kind of what I'm looking at. Who knows? We'll see. If you listen to anything I say, trade anything I say, take any of my thoughts into your equations and your trades, you will lose all of your money, or likely lose all of your money. Especially if you're trading options. About 87% of options expire worthless. So that's usually a bad bet to make anyways. Very much high risk, high reward kind of trade. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, for AMC stock, I do think AMC could likely fall back to about $4 per share towards the end of this week. I do think that's probably the most likely outcome as of right now. That would put you back to about the same level you were at about February 9th. I'm not really expecting a huge rally this week. If Fed Jerome Powell is, bullish, I think we're going to run into a lot of resistance around $4.79 per share, $4.80 per share, roughly where that 50-day moving average is. And I think that's going to be really hard to break out above without any, good news for AMC, without any positive catalyst. There's no reason for shorts to cover right now. Who knows if Powell says we're going to get more rate cuts, or they're going to come sooner. Maybe that does cause a broadening out of our markets, and maybe that does push us above that 50-day moving average. But I do think your upside is pretty limited here until you get good news. Again, there's just not a reason for shorts to cover on any short positions. I mean, if I was short in AMC right now, I would not be covering on my short position. And that's the way you got to think about it. So that's kind of my expectation. I'm more so leaning towards about $4 by the end of this week is probably where we're going to be at. $4, $4.10, somewhere in that ballpark. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.